Howdy, 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 my name's Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. In the last episode, we finally did the What is Love, and I had more fun with that than I should have. We did Brother's Bride, which was messed up, the Missing Number, which was interesting, the Obsidian Ritual Knife, which was also interesting, and the Possessive Mask, which was horrifying. Today we're going to do the Reincarnation Pilgrimage of the Yazidi, Kiras Guhorin, the Dwarf Star, the Everything Tree, the Proboscis Engineers, and Evolution's Child. I feel like if Proboscis Engineers, if I can learn how to speak, doesn't have anything to do with mustaches or noses, because I'm not 100%. Let me just Google Proboscis, because I might be thinking of I might not even know what the hell I'm talking about. An elongated appendage from the head of an animal, either a vertebrate or an invertebrate. Okay, so I had heard that term used as if speaking of a mustache, but it sounds like it's been talking about noses. So I guess that was just supposed to be saying that their mustache was so awful it was a nose. Anyway, let's get on into that pilgrimage there. Okay, well apparently the pilgrimage is safe. Once every year, a mobile task force is dispatched from Containment Command 2 and expunged to Site 22A to defend the runway and airport located there. The civilian facility is to be cleared of all non-SCP personnel by 4 o'clock in the morning on September 23rd, and none are allowed to return until sunrise the next day. On October 1st, all civilians must be evacuated again before sunrise and will not be allowed onto Site 22A until the return of the pilgrimage flight. Pilgrims in transit from the arrival flight awaiting departure on the pilgrim flight may only be cross-examined by researchers with level 3 security level clearance or higher. I don't know why they felt the need to say level 3 and then level again, but I didn't write it. 36 includes the location, Site 22A, a small airport in the Mosul region of northern Iraq, and Site 22B, the destination of passengers boarding at Site 22A. The key components of 36 are the arrival flight, a passenger plane that varies in make and model from year to year that arrives shortly before dawn on September 23rd. It appears on radar about 30 to 40 kilometers away from Site 22A. When it lands, pilgrims exit the plane and enter the terminal. No crew have ever left the plane. Observations have only revealed a masked pilot and co-pilot. This plane leaves quickly after pilgrims exit and does not wait for clearance for takeoff, nor does it identify itself upon approach for landing. The pilgrims, people of the Yazidi faith that exit the arrival plane, who are said to be undergoing the Kiras Guhorin. What if that actually means anything? Well, the Yazidis are an actual thing. It's the metaphor of a change of garment. Well, it certainly seems to be a thing, although it led me to a YouTube video of somebody else reading the SCP entries. Oh, cool. Interesting. Each year they are examined and identified as various people of the Yazidi faith. I hope I'm saying that right. I just had a chance to see if I was saying it right and I didn't even check. That have died during the previous year. This is done through birth certificates, photo ID, specific knowledge questions, and, when possible, fingerprinting. When possible. Does that mean some of them don't have fingers? Ugh. Most have been known to be friendly and amicable, though most are reluctant to give details about the Kiras Guhorin. However you say it. In the past, all have shown to be unable to recognize family and friends, or been able to remember any information beyond what short-term memory would normally allow. In the late afternoon of September 23rd, most pilgrims begin to emphasize how important it is that their pilgrimage must begin. At that time, they file onto the pilgrimage flight plane and depart, never to be seen again. The pilgrimage flight. A passenger plane provided by SCP personnel for the transport of the pilgrims. It is manned by a crew of trained Yazidi holy men. The crew are typically never able to elaborate upon details of the pilgrimage or what the Kiras Guhorin actually is. SCP equipment on board function optimally, but recorded data will only slightly increase our understanding of the pilgrimage each year. Though the flight is gone for 7 days, the crew and recorded data are only able to account for a few hours. Days are missing from time recording equipment and cameras, though nothing abnormal is ever observed. The plane disappears from radar and visual contact is lost about 50 to 60 kilometers away from Site 22A until it returns about sunrise on October the 1st. Let's see now. Site-22B, the destination of the pilgrimage plane. It is a small airport consisting of a runway and a single building located at coordinates expunged. It has only been observed by pilgrimage crew and cameras on the plane. It does not appear on satellite images, and attempts to reach it on foot have failed. Once with disastrous results. That's okay. I guess that's still safe. Cameras have trouble focusing on the area, as the heat from the ground usually causes a mirage-like visual effect on all objects more than a few dozen meters from the plane. A flyover with an SCP reconnaissance plane several weeks before the pilgrimage revealed undeveloped land and what looked like an ancient stone statue. In the 1990s, SCP Mobile Task Force Sigma-4 attempted to reach Site-22B during the time of the pilgrimage. Upon approach, communication was lost and the task force was never heard from again. No other exploration attempts are advised during the 7-day pilgrimage. Well, what about when it's not the pilgrimage? Originally, the Kurdish-speaking Yazidi people around Mosul secretly performed the pilgrimage themselves. Pilgrims from the east were escorted by masked armed guards on camelback into the care of Yazidi holy men. It has been explained that the holy men would then take the pilgrims west to their land of the dead, where the pilgrims would wait to be reborn back into the Yazidi people. The Kiras Guhorin, literally Kurdish for changing garments. Okay, cool, so it was trying to tell me what that actually means. It just was weird about it. It's used to describe the belief of reincarnation that lesser souls of the Yazidi undergo. While the actual pilgrimage was done in secret, the symbolic pilgrimage and the Kiras Guhorin are performed every year, this time by other Yazidi. During the 1960s, land acquisition by Kurds and Muslims attacked by Turks and punitive laws by the Islamic Iraqi government restricted the movements and customs of the Yazidi. During that time, the Foundation stepped in and offered aid in the way of an advantageous clause that granted SCP planes unrestricted access to airport facilities in the area. Almost immediately, mysterious planes carrying pilgrims from the east began landing at the local airport, and an elusive airport at the destination appeared as well. Okay, so it sounds like this was all done on foot until the 1960s, and then suddenly airports appeared. Alright. Next up is the Dwarf Star. That doesn't sound like it's going to be safe or anything even almost safe, but let's find out. Of course it's not. 37 is magnetically contained at Site-32. It is housed in a small subterranean room composed of a heat-conducting, radiation-resistant polymer and evacuated of any atmosphere. Heat from the object is radiated into the surrounding rock. Should the integrity of the enclosure become compromised, the emergency system will generate a low-power argon plasma shield until it is repaired, in the contingency of a blank. So, access denied. Description. The artifact was discovered in 19-something above the Beaufort Sea at approximately the North Magnetic Pole. Intense electromagnetic interference was reported by Canadian Forces Station, Canadian Forces Station alert, followed by an extremely bright object ascending towards the ocean from the sky. The skip's Guardian responded and discovered the object wavering in an erratic trajectory about 200 meters above the surface of the water. Once containment procedures were devised, it was transported to Site-32 for study. 37 is apparently a star approximately 5 centimeters in diameter with a luminosity of about something times that of our sun and a surface temperature of about 5,000 degrees Kelvin, determined by the UPVRI analysis. So yeah, if you come anywhere near that thing, you will cease to exist. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure that 5,000 degrees Kelvin is immediate ceasing of existence. Anyway, the age and origin of 37 is unknown. However, its nuclear activity is being carefully monitored for irregularities, as they should. Spectral analysis in comparison to known celestial bodies suggests that it is a typical, other than its uncharacteristic size, star quickly undergoing transition to a red giant, though it is unknown if established theories of star formation and aging apply. It is thought to have entered the Earth's magnetosphere via the North Magnetic Pole. Damn you, Santa! Containment and transport of 37 have been achieved by the use of powerful electromagnets, to which the artifact aligns itself according to its own magnetic field. The primary challenge to containment thus far has been its powerful electromagnetic emissions, which are intense enough to be easily seen by the naked eye from high Earth orbit. How was that the primary challenge and not the fact that it's 5,000 degrees Kelvin? Anyway, its current enclosure is deep underground to prevent detection and to facilitate I can't read for shit today. Radiative cooling into the surrounding bedrock. I almost said radioactive, but it's missing maybe it's supposed to be radioactive and it's just missing its OC. In effect, the entire facility and the surrounding volume of the Earth's crust acts as a massive heat sink. I feel like the Earth's crust can't just hold 5,000 degrees Kelvin. Let's find out what 5,000 degrees Kelvin is. Search that. Color temperature. Oh, the color temperature of a light source is the temperature of an ideal black body radiator. Okay, so 5,000 K is its color, not its temperature. Or, I guess it's color temperature. Color temperatures of over 5,000 K are called cool colors, bluish white, while lower temperature colors are called warm colors. So that's not saying how hot it is, it's just saying that it's blue? Let's see. 1700 K, match flame. 5,000 K, fluorescent lamps. Okay, so it's actually the temperature of a fluorescent lamp, but also really, really bright? I'm still curious about what 5,000 degrees Kelvin is, though. Kelvin. Yeah. Yep. If that was supposed to be Kelvin, then that is absolutely ceasing of existing. But like I said, I'm not a scientist or this weird fictional other scientist substitution. Containment and transport of 37 has been achieved by the use of powerful electromagnets, to which the artifact aligns itself on... Did I already read this? I already read that. Over blank years of study, the star has undergone a shift in emitted EM radiation, suggesting that it is undergoing stellar evolution at a vastly accelerated rate. If standard stellar models hold up, this will soon result in an increase in radius by a factor of 100 to 300 times, and a concomitant increase in irradiated energy. Emergency containment contingencies are being studied for that eventuality. Further progression of the star's life cycle will likely terminate in a stellar nova, which is estimated to have a yield of blank. Extrapolations predict this to occur in blank. Research is underway for a method to arrest this development or to transport 37 to a safe distance from the planet before it occurs. Yeah, so if it's got that much brightness over the sun and a surface temperature of that, I feel like that's supposed to actually be Kelvin, but there's no little degree symbol. But also, I guess I should see if this is a real thing. Is this a real thing? Sorry to be wasting time researching this shit. Let's see. It does seem to be a real thing, but as a non-scientist, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. So, back to weird spooky shit. Okay, next up is the everything tree. Okay, so the everything tree is safe. That's good, I suppose. 38 is to be watered twice per day via overhead mister. Mister, right. I was thinking Mr. like, hey, hello, it's Mr. Rogers. I forgot that mist is a thing, and that things can mist things, and they're probably called misters instead of mist-making boxes. Should the mister break for any reason, attendant should water 38 by hand until it has been fixed. Lighting is provided by a computer-controlled lighting array. Attendants watering 38 by hand and maintenance personnel fixing mister or lighting should wear hazmat suits to prevent accidental cloning. 38 was found on an abandoned farm in somewhere in New York in 19-something. It was first thought to be a common apple tree, because all trees are apple trees until they throw things at you. However, upon closer inspection, it became apparent that 38 was growing things other than apples, and in fact, other than fruit. I can only assume dogs. 38 has the ability to clone any object that touches its bark. So, hey, it does say dogs, but I'll get there. Objects begin growing almost instantaneously, and reach maturity within a matter of minutes. A weight limit of 90.9 kilograms, 200 pounds, per object has been previously recorded, so that tree cannot clone me. Ha ha! Objects that 38 has Thus far cloned include apples, oranges, watermelon, eggplants, candy bars, snack foods, televisions, toasters, laptops, keys, chairs, wine, DVDs, CDs, cats, dogs, people. What would be the maturity of a DVD? Because it says they reach maturity within a matter of minutes, so I can't help but wonder, how would it look when it makes things that are not food? But these addendums look like it's not supposed to do that. So, human and animal cloning through SCP-38 is not recommended as they appear to age quickly. The majority of these clones live on average 2 weeks. After thorough examination of the deceased clones, it has been determined that they had begun to ferment before death. So, ferment. I've never heard that term applied to people. I don't want to know how that works. Addendum 1. Dr. Klein has requested that personnel discontinue the cloning of items from the vending machines. And also personal items. And also movies and music. And also cans of Miller, Budweiser, and Foster's. Customary disapproval of the quality of such cloned items. Document 338-1. I would like to remind all personnel that 38 is not, I repeat, not a toy. It should not be used for cloning car keys, movies, music, or any items from the vending machines. If this behavior continues, I will be forced to limit access to 38. 338-2. It has been noted that 38 is able to clone SCP-500. However, such pills only work 30% of the time, with chance of successful healing dropping as time since clone increases. In 60% of the cases where the infection is permanent, symptoms of infection remain, though further infection is neutralized. Do I want to click and find out what SCP-500 is now, or when I get to it? Because right now I'm only on number 38 out of, like, what, 3,000? 4,000? Okay. I'll get there someday. Partial testing logs. Select experiments only. Let's see, November 8th something. Confirmation of mass limit. Investigation into consequences of exceeding limit. Summary of test results. 400-pound steel ingot made contact with outer bark 38. Chamber vacated as a precaution. Clone ingot grew at a typical speed, but growth halted abruptly short of completion. Examination of the end of the aborted facsimile revealed a rough texture superficially resembling miniature scale tree bark. Item detached from 38 as typical and was subsequently found to weigh 90.91 kilograms, or almost precisely 200 pounds. November 8th something, probably the same day. Investigation into why would they try to clone SCP-173? That is the worst possible one to try to clone. Investigation into duplication of non-biological animate matter. Isn't that the one that breaks your neck? Yep. Why would you try to clone him? Okay. Deemed a suitable test subject because of its lack of verifiable life processes, introduced to containment chamber by class disposable dude. Contact made with outer bark of 38 and 173 returned immediately to containment. 173 facsimile began development at typical speed, beginning at point of contact. As consistent with previous results, growth halted at the 200-pound threshold, in this case terminating development after replication of the head, right arm, and partial upper torso. D-class test subject was ordered to break eye contact with clone. When test subject eventually blinked, no movement was observed in clone material. Extinguishing and re-establishment of the containment chamber light supply revealed no apparent reaction from clone material. Experiment concluded. During storage of clone portions of 173, it was observed that the partial facsimile was in fact making violent gestures at a dramatically slower rate. Movement was shown to continue regardless of state of observation. Okay, so that says to me that if SCP-173 weighed 200 pounds or less, they would have just made a worse one. Well done, y'all. Okay, next up is the Proboscis engineers. This is moving surprisingly quick. I might do a few more. Okay. A male instance of SCP-39. The Proboscis engineer is monkeys? All instances of 39 are to be contained in Site 77's Wilderness Observation Chamber 2B. At least 2 security personnel are to monitor the interior and exterior of 39's chamber and are to rotate every 6 hours. Staff members may not access 39's chamber without an accompanying escort from site security, and may only do so for research purposes or for the examination of the chamber for containment, sabotage, or contraband, which is to occur weekly. As of September 18th, 2000-something, 39-8 has become pregnant. Responsibility for its containment has been reassigned to personnel in the veterinary observation wing. Okay, so 39, sorry, I bumped into my microphone. 39 consists of 23 instances of Nasalis larvatus, or proboscis monkey, who have been subject to radical anatomical changes. The eyes and mouths are absent. Leaving the face bare save for the nose and its accompanying nasal passages. Instances of 39 possess acute auditory and tactile sense to compensate for a lack of eyes, relying mostly on physical contact with objects to perceive them, and on loud nasal snorts as a sort of echolocation to help them navigate in their environment. Necropsies have also revealed the digestive system to be absent. How instances of 39 obtain nutrition, or alternatively, how they survive without it, is still a subject of research. Instances of 39 display signs of sapience, examples of which include communication via nasal snorts, an understanding of spoken English, and a complex understanding of machinery. Adult instances have demonstrated the ability to operate mechanical tools, and possess the ability to repair and manufacture various pieces of technology, such as disassembling and reassembling an internal combustion engine, and efficiently wiring a small compartment room. Okay, so that's why they're called the Proboscis Engineers. I thought it was because they were making noses. Let's see. Where was I? Testing has shown that 39 appear to work more efficiently individually rather than in groups, as instances of 39 will often become distracted by one another. Occasionally when working, instances of 39 will clutch their abdomens and emit distressed vocalizations. If food is located nearby, they will attempt to smear their faces with the substance. It is currently hypothesized that this indicates that 39 is the result of artificial manipulation of normal Nasalis larvatus specimens, with documents recovered during containment supporting this hypothesis. See Addendum 39A. 39 are capable of reproduction and gestation, not unlike the Nasalis larvatus. As of the time of this writing, 5 instances of 39 have been born. 39 show a very close bond among their species, with newborns often being cared for by all capable adults. New instances are born with anatomical anomalies similar to other instances of 39, but lack the knowledge of other instances. Parent instances will educate newborns on communication and basic skills until they reach the age of 6 months, at which point technological ability will be taught by other adult instances. 39 were recovered from an uninhabited research facility 50 kilometers from the nearby town of Blank, Nevada. Probably not Vegas. Documents recovered during containment place ownership of the facility under Blop Blop, a company funding research for the advancement of natural human ability. 20 instances of 39 had been apparently living in and maintaining the facility for an unknown period of time. Additional recovered documents indicate that a project was being conducted to augment human intelligence. This project appears to have been cancelled shortly before the company's collapse, with the assets sold to an unnamed group. Further research into Blank Blank and the groups that acquired its assets revealed several other anomalous projects, including SCP-1513. Addendum 39A. One additional instance of 39 was discovered during containment operations of 1328. Agents are currently following up on any reports indicating the existence of further instances outside of containment. 39B. Several documents recovered during initial containment appear to notate the early prototyping stage of 39's development. Research has begun to develop a way to recreate this process that creates new 39 instances. However, the damage the notes had accumulated prior to containment has rendered many of them unreadable. Okay, so which ones were these? 1 through 6. Removal. They have become almost 100% more productive, not even counting the extra time due to reduced breaks and time off. With this success, we're considering removal of additional orifices as long as the replacements or lack thereof do not reduce their output. Werner was looking at them as they worked today and noticed some of them clutching their abdomens. Seems that they experience phantom hunger pains even if they no longer require food. Unless this starts interfering with productivity, we're going to continue as is. We tried removing the ocular organs and just having them work by memory. After a couple of inconclusive trials, we actually got one up to the point where it scored almost as high as the control test. We've decided to move forward with this initiative as if successfully, Except, damn! And if successful, apply it to all specimens. Edit. An update on this one, it seems the removal of sight has increased the tactile sensitivity of most of the specimens, and remarkably, yeah, okay, I said it right. I was trying to add too many sounds. This has brought the initial test subjects up to a level of productivity that exceeds the expected result. As such, we will be applying the changes to all available specimens. Some of them didn't take to it, but they're still good for spare parts. That's fucked up. In the meantime, we put them in storage. After the success of the eyeball thing, Damien suggested we could increase productivity by increasing auditory sensitivity. As long as they stayed in the factory, they'd be fine, since there isn't much here to overwhelm the ears. Testing starts in a week or so. A massive success! With the elimination of sight and the need for food, and with the amplification of hearing and touch, we've managed a total boost of 211% over our initial test subjects. Management has seen fit to give our division extra time to finish the project. And to think that we were sold this project for a lark. Man, I feel like dancing on air. Edit. Small incident today. One of our specimens was out of his pen and had grabbed a couple of tools. We put him back in and sealed it up again. Alan says he'll take another look at the doors tomorrow. Okay. So that's... now is the Evolution's child. Will it be safe? Will it be deadly? Let's find out. It is kinda deadly. 40 is to be contained in a standard humanoid containment module within Bioresearch Area 12. The chamber is to be connected to an airborne tranquilizer dispersal system, to be activated in the event of 40 manifesting its properties outside of testing environments. The chamber is to be observed by 2 supervisory personnel at all times. Recreational items such as toys, games, and art supplies may be provided to 40 at the discretion of supervisory personnel. As they have been determined to pose no possible threat, 41A, 41C, 41J have been approved to remain in the containment chamber with 40 for purposes of the subject's mental well-being. Security Chief Officer Special Order 392-5, blah blah blah. All other entities modified by 40 are to be disposed of after recovery and study according to standard biological specimen clearance protocols as outlined in document Kittaput Bio N1. No outside organisms are to be brought into 40's presence beyond those used in testing procedures. 40 is to undergo daily school lessons and bi-weekly psychological review overseen by Doctors Abernathy, Logan, and Izawa. 40 is a Caucasian female of approximately 8 years of age, standing 1 meter in height. 40 bears numerous physical abnormalities. Subject's skin is highly sensitive to light and easily damaged by physical contact, and subject's hair is a bright pink in coloration. This hair is brittle and falls out easily. The subject displays green and yellow heterochromia, with a sclera of the left eye black in coloration. I don't know what part of the eye that actually is. Is that like the main part of the eye? What part of the eye is that? Yep. I just learned what that's called. Cool. 40 has no sight in this eye. Less cool. 40's emotional state is within acceptable boundaries for an individual of its age group, accounting for the effects of prolonged containment and physical abnormalities. Subject's intelligence is slightly above average for its age group, and displayed behavior is generally cooperative. Of note is 40's quick acclimatization to containment, believed to be resultant of its upbringing before recovery. 40 is capable of manipulating living matter, mutating and modifying existing organisms in order to create new ones, collectively referred to as 41. This effect is at will, but requires significant focus and time to enact and becomes increasingly unreliable and inaccurate when manipulating details through small-scale modifications. 40 is incapable of altering microscopic organisms and has great difficulty in altering plant life. Dead organic matter may also be used, but must be used in conjunction with the living organisms. Instances of 41 will not demonstrate pre-modification behavior. The majority will act similar to domesticated house pets, generally with extreme loyalty to 40, regardless of prior association. The appearance of 41 instances will vary. Some instances will retain overall pre-modification form with some alteration, such as 40's apparent modification to itself, though the majority will bear no resemblance to their original appearances. 40 appears incapable of manipulating instances of 41 more than once. Recovery log. Subject was recovered on blank blank 2000 blank and redacted. 40 was one of 15 subjects taken into custody. Further investigation found no anomalous properties in any other individuals. Amnestics were administered to detainees and the general populace, and cover-up measures were enacted without further incident. Monitoring of the area is ongoing in order to detect any resurgence of blank blank. Addendum 1. 40 is currently allowed custody of the following 41 instances. 1A. A polymorphic symbiotic organism capable of changing size, shape, color, and texture in reaction to its environment. Subject serves its outer clothing similar to a jacket or sweater and absorbs nutrients from 40's bloodstream. Subject was recovered alongside 40, and genetic testing reveals that the subject shares the majority of its genetic makeup with the common house cat. Yeah. 1C. A spherical organism capable of flight by means of rubbery bladders filled with helium. Entity has 11 limbs terminating in opposable digits, and a complex respiratory system capable of replicating a wide variety of musical patterns. So what did it used to be? What did it used to be? A balloon? A fish? A marching band? It is a 1J. A quadrupedal organism covered in a thick black coat of pink and blue fur. Entity has no eyes, a broad mouth with blunt teeth, and is capable of climbing up vertical surfaces. Occasionally used by 40 as a mode of transportation. Yeah, I have no idea what that could have been. It sounds like up to a certain point, it sounded like it could have been a Furby. Maybe it's some sort of strange combination of a Furby and a spider. Addendum 2. The following excerpt is from an interview carried out on blank blank 2000 blank, 3 weeks after initial containment. Good morning, 40. Good morning, Miss Abernathy. It's good to see you're getting over your cold. Can I ask a few questions before we start with today's lessons? Yeah. Can you tell me about your parents? Mr. Green said that I don't have any. Can you tell me about Mr. Green then? I don't know if Miss, well, they said Miss. So I suppose they're both supposed to be ladies. I just can't do a good lady voice for someone who's 8. He was nice, but he wasn't very good at talking. He would always talk like this, but he wasn't there a lot of the time. Most of the time it was the nurses looking after us. And what do they do for you? They play games with us and teach us things, and sometimes they would make us wear these dumb helmets and sit quiet for a long time. Sometimes they put a movie on for us if we behaved, but if we were bad, they'd lock us in our rooms. Can you tell me anything else? They always served us peas for dinner, and I hate peas, so I always gave mine to 5 because she liked peas. But I think green beans are better. Addendum 3. Blank blank 2000 blank. 40 successfully reanimated a deceased human body during testing, using 3 specimens of brown rat, Rattus norvegicus, as the required living component. Resultant subject retained no memories of previous life and was judged to be the approximate mental capacity of a human toddler. 40 was highly distressed by the event and refused further testing for the next 3 weeks. I'm not sure how that's evolution's child, but okay, so I'm going to stop that here for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to do Thought Broadcasting Patient, a formerly winged horse, the Beetle, World War II era molecular fission cannon, and atmospheric converter. Which ones will be safe? Which ones will be deadly? Probably the World War II era molecular fission cannon. But other than that, the rest of them probably sound safe. So, this has been Anachi Sasuke. This is episode 14, I think? Let me double check. Yeah, 14. And I will see you guys next time. Later.